This is a tree, which my mum asked me to cut down. But before I did, I wondered, if my tools were made of glass, could I still cut the tree down? Now I'm scared that if I make a glass saw, it's going to shatter and send tiny shards of glass flying absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to try some other fragile materials first. And what's more fragile than an egg? But how can an egg cut things? Ah, excellent question. When the shell is cracked, some of the edges are extra sharp. So for this experiment, I collected them and expertly glued them together, forming this exquisite saw blade. Okay, no more egg puns. Next I put the egg blade in, and this reciprocating saw was now pretty dangerous. It was no yoke. Oh, damn it. But could it cut through wood? At this point I should probably mention, we're actually cutting down this tree. Not that one. I just forgot to film the intro before I cut the tree down. So... and it only managed to get through the outer layer of the bark before completely flattening the blade.
I mean, I don't know what you're expecting. It's an egg. It's not going to cut things.
So I moved on to the next fragile material. China's fragile housing market. I mean, China's saucers. And these saucers are almost the perfect size to fit onto this angle grinder, which is good because it makes my job easier, but the angle grinder spins much faster and is much more scary. But at least it's easy to trim them down to size and drill a hole in the middle. As I was saying, at least it's easy to trim them down to size and drill a hole in the middle.
Don't you break on me, piece of sauce.
Which could then be fitted onto the angle grinder with these little foam washers.
Okay, I've got it set up on this big swiveling arm, which means I can hide behind this big bit of wood, which will hopefully protect me from any flying shards of ceramic. I hope I don't get stabbed. Okay, ready to start in 3, 2, 1. It sounded good. It actually works. Wait, what? That's extremely surprising. I guess go a little bit more. 3, 2, 1. Jesus fucking Christ. That worked really well. Before everything blew up, it did cut a good centimetre and a bit into the tree trunk. But looking back at the footage, you can see where it started to smoke, where it was burning the wood instead of cutting it. And when it shattered, it managed to also take the blade guard with it, which is really surprising seeing as it was screwed very firmly down onto the angle grinder. Now, I could make a new blade and repair it, but that wouldn't be possible because, nah, I'm just lazy. I just don't want to, so.
Glass, the final material. If we're going to cut through the whole trunk, we're going to need something a little bit bigger than the angle grinder. And luckily, I had learnt my lesson from last time, that when cutting these fragile materials, I need to be very gentle. Fuck. So I gently picked up a new glass plate and cut it down to...
Oh, man.
You'd think I could do this by now, wouldn't you? Okay, third try's the charm, or at least it better be, because I don't have any more glass after this. But luckily I remembered bigger is always better, and I got this extra thick microwave plate, which maybe helped everything stay together in one piece. I also found this video from the Waterjet channel where they use silicon carbide on the edge of their blade to help it cut better, and I was going to save this for a later test, but this is it. I don't have any more glass left, and even if I did, I don't think I'd be able to make another blade. So, silicon carbide it is.
There's only one problem. I don't have any. But I do have sand. Holy f***, that is heavy. Jesus.
And this is technically just glass that hasn't been melted together yet. I think. I don't actually know how they turn sand into glass, but I'm just gonna say it counts. So once the epoxy was set, I attached the blade to the saw, and it was time for the final test.
I've got it set up so I can still move the whole thing and turn it on whilst I'm behind this big block of wood, because again, I don't want to get stabbed by tiny shards of flying glass. I guess there's nothing left to do. Let's give it a go. 3, 2, 1. bit through the tree, but it just completely shattered. Well, I guess it's just not possible to cut a tree down with glass. So thanks for watching it. Look, this video isn't ending until that tree is cut down with a glass saw. But, okay? Look, these people have been watching for so long.
No.
Just to see you fail? I don't think so, buddy. Back to work.
Oh, fine.
Well, seeing how all the other tools failed, I decided to go back to the basics, a handsaw. And at this point, I started to question why I was doing this in the first place. I could have cut the tree down in about 2 minutes with a chainsaw, but instead I decided to make it way harder for myself. Perhaps subconsciously, I wanted to slow down and just enjoy the process of doing these projects. Maybe I wanted to experience the satisfaction of using manual labor to achieve a goal. Or perhaps I just needed a video idea. Whatever the reason, I was going to chop this tree down with glass tools, and I didn't care how much work it took. I had finally done it, and all it had taken was multiple days of continuously failing, doubting myself, and wondering if it was even possible. Arguably, it was just wasting my time on a dumb question that didn't matter, but perhaps once in a while it's worth pursuing dumb questions. Exploring simple thoughts can be fulfilling. In a world where everyone is trying to be as productive as possible, it's nice to slow down and just work on something with no pressure for it to be anything at all. Actually, maybe I should just go and get a job.